In today's class, we'll be discussing about the basic components of a computer system. The various concepts that are discussed in this chapter are: the first concept is input unit, the second concept is output unit, the third concept is memory or storage unit, and the last concept is CPU or processor. Now you can see a computer image over here, which means this is an external appearance. As you see your human body, you can see your head, your legs, your hands, your body, all that is an external structure. But we too have internal organs like brain, heart, but that's not seen. Same way, a computer, when you see a computer, it's just an external appearance. We do have internal parts. We are going to discuss all that in detail in this chapter. This is the structural diagram. That means it has input devices which gives the input, then it is processed by a CPU, and it gets all the processed data is stored in the memory. Then the output is given out through a output device. First, what is an input device? Any data or instruction that is given to the computer is called as an input. The hardware component that allows the user to enter the data or the instruction into a computer is called as an input unit. The examples are keyboard and mouse, which can input the data or the instruction to the computer. The second one is a keyboard. It can have the data like alphabets, numbers, the function keys, all that is given in the keyboard, which can input the data or the instruction to the computer. And the main standard keyboard that is used is called as a QWERTY keyboard. Next, the mouse. There are two types of mouse. One is a ball mouse and another one is a optical mouse. First, we'll see about the ball mouse. It actually has a ball, you can see over here. It can be rolled over the flat surface, and through that movement the cursor or the pointer in the screen can be changed. It is mainly used for pointing, clicking, double clicking, or dragging the objects on the screen. The next one is an optical mouse. It is an advanced computer pointing device. It uses a LED light, that is light emitting diode is used instead of a bulb in this mouse. And actually it is detected by sensing the changes in the reflected light. When it is changed, the mouse or the cursor, it gets changed. Next is an output device. What is an output device? Anything that converts the machine language into a human readable form is called as an output unit. Usually whenever you get an output in the system, it will be mostly in the form of machine language. It can be text, graphics, audio, video, it can be any form. The main examples are a monitor and a printer. What is a monitor? The monitor, actually it is an output device. You can view the information that is the output on the screen, and you can also view the working execution over the sequence in a monitor. The next one is a printer. Actually you get the output in a hard copy form. The soft copy is what you can see on the screen, and the hard copy means you get some paper with the details that is there on it. It could be an image or it could be any data that you are giving to the computer. Next is a memory or storage device. Actually it is mainly used for storing the data. There are two types of memory. One is a temporary memory, that is the main memory. Whenever the data is getting executed, it gets stored, but it will not be there for a long time. For a long time we use a backing storage, that is a primary memory or the secondary memory. It preserves the programs or data for a longer span of time. Primary memory, actually it is storing the data only when the power is on, that whenever the electricity is connected to the computer, only during that time or whenever its program is getting executed, the data is getting stored. And there are two types of primary memory, that is RAM and ROM. RAM means it constitutes the main part of the primary memory. It is get used during the program execution. It gets turned off when the electricity goes off, or when the power is off. It loses all its data. There are two types of RAM. One is static RAM and another one is dynamic RAM. What is a static RAM? It retains it, as I told you earlier, it retains the data only till the power remains. It actually uses a flip-flop circuitry and it is very fast. It is used, you might be thinking, why is it needed? Because it is very, very fast to access the data. Next one, it is a dynamic RAM. Actually, when you want to have the data in this, you have to refresh the data frequently. And it uses a transistor and a capacitor, and it is slow. It is a bit slow in execution, but it consumes a lot of power in executing. Next one is a ROM. That is, it is called read only memory, because you can, once the data is stored, it can only be read, but it is non-volatile. I mean, it is unchanging. It is used for some firmware program. What is firmware program? It's a basic program that is given in the computer. The various types of PROM, EPROM and EEPROM. What is PROM? It is called programmable read-only memory. That is, all the programmed format are stored in read-only memory. And actually, next one is erasable and programmable read-only memory. That means it can be changed. It can be erased, and it can be it is called erasable and programmable read-only memory. Next one is electrically erasable and programmable read-only memory. It can be changed and rewritten, or any changes can be made in this, but the data can only be read. Next, we are moving on to the secondary memory. It is a permanent memory of the system, and actually it consists of a large quantity for storing the data. Actually, it is a main backing store of the system. The various types of magnetic disk and optical disk. What is a magnetic disk? Actually, it has a magnetic process in order to write, rewrite and access the data. For example, hard disk and floppy disk. Now you can see here is a hard disk. Actually, it accesses the data much faster than the floppy disk. It has a read and write head. Can you see a long pointer kind of thing? And that is called as a spindle. Whenever it moves around, when you want to search the data, it moves around. When you want to store the data, it stays in its place and it stores the data. Actually, the spindle is accessed using a motor. Okay, the speed of the disk depends upon the speed of the motor that is attached. The gray color one is called, the C shaped one is called as a motor. Then next we are moving on to the floppy disk. It consists of a plastic disk coated with iron oxide. It will be in black color mostly. Actually, it has a hardware unit called disk drive that will be within it. It consists of a motor, read and write head, etc. It has the format in which it can access the data and store the data. And it can pass from one sector to another one through the head. You can see over there. Next is optical disk. You must have been very familiar with this. It's a normal CD kind of thing, but there are various formats of it. It has an electronic storage medium. It has the read operation is done using a laser beam. Okay, it can read the dots and the data can be converted into an electrical signal. The output can be either in the form of audio or video. You can store the data and you can retrieve the data. CD-ROM. There are various types. The first type is going to be CD-ROM. CD-ROM means compact disk read-only memory. You can store the data, but it can only be read. CDR, that means compact disk recordable. That means the data can be recorded over here. CDRW, that means a compact disk rewritable. The data can be changed, but the CD has a very smaller quantity of memory. Next, we are moving on to DVD-ROM. That means digital versatile disk read-only memory. This is mainly used for storing a large amount of data in read-only memory. Next one is DVD RAM, that is digital versatile disk random access memory. That means it can be changed. Okay. Next one, processor or CPU. A processor or CPU consists of two elements in it. One is a control unit and arithmetic and logic unit. Actually, it is called as the brain of the computer, and it performs data processing operations here, and it also controls the working of the entire computer. First, we are going to see about the arithmetic and logical unit. What is arithmetic? That is, the mathematical calculations are performed here. And what are the logical components that is used here? The decision making. What else has to be made first or the second? All that data handling is handled using ALU unit. Next is a control unit. It acts as a central nervous system for all the components. Even though our brain takes all the decision, it has to be transferred to all the parts of the body. That is done using a control unit. It manages and coordinates all the data using, and it takes decision on its own in the control unit. Okay, that's all for today's class.